Hello and welcome to this lecture on Chapter 2. Today's topic will be about email marketing. So, as you read through this chapter and listen to this PowerPoint slide, hopefully you'll come away with understanding how email was developed, the different types of email, and how they're used. Uh, we're going to look at 9 steps to an email campaign and learn how to prepare for an email campaign and what are those best practices. And so hopefully after we get through this chapter, you would be able to run your own email campaign. So here we have a definition of email marketing. And so it's a CRM type of product, and that means customer relationship management. And that's where we're collecting data on our customers, what they've ordered in the past, how much of it did they order, what time of year did they order. We may even collect some personal information about their spouse, their birthdays, any children they might have, and so on. And so when we do this email marketing, there are some advantages to doing this. One is you only have to type it up once and then you can use it over and over again. So it's very cost effective because you're able to replicate that digital data almost at zero cost. You just say you want to send it out to 100 people. Now, because you're using this CRM, based on whatever you're looking for, maybe you want to just target people that buy it in November and buy over 100 pounds of something. So it can be very highly targeted with this customer relationship management program that you might be using this with. Right? And so then we can also, because we're using this campaign, we can also determine how effective that campaign was. And so it's very measurable. What I mean by effective, one thing is that let's say you have some links in your email. You can determine when they clicked on the link. You can also determine when they opened the email or if they opened the email. Maybe they just hit delete, never even read it. And so you can capture all that information and see what is going on with your campaign. Maybe you need to have a different opening line that'll get people to click on it, or you maybe need better marketing material within the email so they'll click on a link or do exactly what you're wanting them to do. So here are the different types of emails that you might use. One is transactional emails, that is, you're wanting them to actually do something. It may also come across in the form of a newsletter. Maybe you're just sending out information, but within the newsletter you have links. And then you could also have commercial emails. Transactional emails may also be those that you get when you buy something and it's an order confirmation. They have other links and things inside of those. I'm sure if you've done any shopping online, you got lots of transactional emails to confirm your order and those sort of type of activities. When we think about commercial emails, you might also have 2 categories of those. One are promotional emails, and these are things that, when they're trying to get you to buy something. I know that for some reason, must have clicked on a golf advertisement at one time, and all of a sudden now I'm getting promotional emails for golf lessons or buy CDs for golfing. So that would be a type of promotional email. Then there's this retention-based email, and so this is where the business will send you emails trying to build a long-term relationship with you. I know I do some woodworking, and so I've subscribed to some woodworking newsletters. And so they'll send me that over time, and within the newsletters there'll be links to buy certain products and stuff. And so that's a retention-based type of email. So the next thing we want to look at is the steps to executing an email campaign. And so if you'll just take a moment to look at these, you've got your strategic planning, your definition of your list, the people you're going to send it to, how you're going to execute it, how you're going to integrate it with a campaign, and that could be with other campaigns that you've got going on, or with other marketing channels that you're using. How do you personalize that message to each individual user. Again, you might go back to your CRM application and pull that personal information and incorporate that into your email. Then we've got this deployment, this interaction handling. How do we check and make sure what we're doing, the generation of reports, and then we need to analyze the results of our campaign to know whether it was a positive thing or we need to modify some things or um, what other changes that we might need to make. So when we look at these steps a little closer, we have what is known as the pre-campaign area. So that might be step 1 and step 2. So in strategic planning, what we're looking at is what are our long-term goals? What is it that we want to achieve with this campaign? Is it an increased sales? Is it the increase number of customers, or is it to increase the number of downloads that we want these customers to have, so our product is always in the forefront of their viewing? It could be a number of different things. The second step is the pre-campaign, or the definition of let me back up here. The second step in this pre-campaign area is the step 2 definition of your list. So this might be your list of people who have allowed you to send them information. So when you're on the internet or you're looking at your email, sometimes they'll ask you to respond, or you're downloading something and you fill out your name and address or email address. But there's usually always a button that says, yes, I want to continue to get emails from this business. And it's automatically checked, and so it's automatically opting you in. And so in order to not get those emails, you have to opt out. That is, you have to uncheck it. To me, that's a little unethical. And so if you're running a high quality campaign, you might want to just have it so that the user actually has to do the check. That is, they have to opt in order to allow the company to send them emails that deal with this marketing campaign that you're doing. Step 3 deals with how you're going to execute those emails. That is, how they're going to be viewed. Is it just going to be viewed as text, or are you going to generate them as HTML, or maybe even both? And step 4 means the integration of the campaign with other channels. I would also suggest that you integrate that with other campaigns that you might going on. And so when you do that, when you're doing both the email, maybe you're doing also a web design or storefront, it all serves to reinforce your brand's message. And hopefully that'll increase responses, and that hopefully that's also one of your strategic goals of what you want to accomplish with this email campaign. So once we send that email out, here's some different parts of an email. You've got the top part of your email, which is a header. You've also got a subject line. You also want to make sure that that subject line has a catchy phrase, something that will get people to read the email and open it up. Within the body of the text, you probably want to have a personalized greeting. Then you want to put your content in the body, and you also want to provide a footer area. In that footer area, you want to have an unsubscribe link. So maybe people are getting too much email from business and they want to opt out. And so you always want to give them an ability to opt out. Otherwise, what they may do in their email, if they can't get you to stop sending them emails, they'll just create a rule that sends your email to trash. And that will come back to you as, okay, they got the email. They may not have opened it, but at least they got it. So that might be a positive thing that you're looking at, when in fact, they're deleting it. They have no, not idea, but they don't have any plans for opening that email or even using it or communicating with your business. Step 5 is the personalization of your message, and so this may be very similar to doing a mail merge, when you've got information in a database and you want to then personalize it and bring across their personalized information that you want to use in that email. So it might be their first name, it might be something about, their hobbies, or whatever you're collecting and what you want to use to personalize this message. So then in the sixth step, you're ready for deployment. And so the things you want to make sure that you've done before you actually send it out is have you created something that somebody wants to read? So is the content valuable? And then you also want to think about how often do I want to send this out? If you send it out too often, then they become junk mail. People just won't even open it and they just delete it. Or like I said earlier, they'll come up with a rule that puts it in the trash, or it doesn't even get to their inbox. One thing before you send it out to everybody, you got to make sure that your email server is working properly and that it displays the email correctly and it's deliverable. All too often you might be using something at work and send out, say, 1,000 text messages, and all of a sudden you realize that somebody has set the server so that it can't do mass texting or mass emailing. And so then your email did not get sent out. And so you run into a problem there. So make sure you test everything and then it's actually sending things out the way you intended them to be sent out and viewed. Step 7 deals with interaction handling, and that is how are you going to interact with that customer on multiple times of email. So an example might be, let's say I go to a website and I'm looking for help, but I can't find anything, so I might fill out a little form. Well, they'll email me back saying, "Oh, I've got your request. We're going to pass it on. You should hear from somebody in 24 hours." That's part of this interaction handling that you need to think about. What happens if in your campaign the customer needs more information or they request more information? How are you going to send it? What should that email look like, and so on? The last two steps deal with after the campaign. That is, you need to generate reports. That is, they can contain the statistics that you're looking for, and then you need to analyze the results. So that should tie back into your strategic planning, which is the first step. And then hopefully that will help you improve your campaign or decide to change it or alter it somehow. And that ends this part of Chapter 2, Email Marketing.